Here is your profit briefing. I am Eleazar Bhatti for The Profit here in Lahore. Pakistan's Consumer Price Index CPI-based inflation has accelerated to 10.3% year-on-year in July. But more on this later. First, some business and economic stories that you should know. Crude oil plunged further on concerns that the global economy would further weaken after US President Donald Trump ended a tariff ceasefire with China. The US President said that additional tariffs of 10% on the remaining $300 billion in Chinese goods would be added in September. Brent crude futures LCO C1 slumped more than 7% on Thursday. This is their steepest drop in more than 3 years. Meanwhile, US West Texas Intermediate WTI crude futures LC1 fell nearly 8%. Posting its worst day in more than 4 years. The collapse ended a fragile rally built on steady drawdowns in US inventories, even as global demand looked shaky because of the trade dispute. Owing to a misperception regarding the CNIC condition on the sale of goods worth $50,000 or above, the government of Pakistan has announced that it would soon introduce a fixed tax regime for small traders, which will allow them to make sales without recording CNICs for the customers. However, the CNIC requirement would be mandatory for business-to-business transactions, and the government would not reverse this decision at any cost. This was announced by the Minister for Economic Affairs Mohammad Hamad Azhar while addressing a post-budget conference at Islamabad's Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Azhar said that the contribution of the retail sector in GDP was 20%, but its contribution to tax was just 0.25%. The automotive sector has seen a decline in production by 5.32% in the first 11 months of the fiscal year 2018 and 19. As many as 203,474 Jeeps and cars were manufactured during the period July to May 2018 and 19, against the production of 214,904 units during July and May 2017 and 18. The production of light commercial vehicles decreased by 16.19% during the period under review, as it went down by 27,178 units last year to 22,777 units. The production of motorcycles during the period under review also decreased by 12.52%, as it declined from the output of 2.6 million units last year to 2.2 million units this year. After recovering from a losing streak on Wednesday, Pakistan Stock Exchange witnessed another range-bound trading session on Thursday and ended the day in the red. The KSE 100 index reached its intraday high of 32,060.58 points soon after the opening bells rang. Losing its momentum, the index then marked its intraday low of 31,780.92 points after declining by 157.56 points. It finally closed lower by 99.37 points at 31,839.11 points. The KMI 30 index depreciated by 55 points to end the day at 50,514.36 points, while the KSE All-Share Index declined by 69.46 points, settling at 23,049.36 points. Out of the total traded scrips, 115 advanced and 174 declined. Meanwhile, the overall market volumes were recorded at 70.66 million. Now back to our main story. Pakistan's Consumer Price Index CPI-based inflation has accelerated to 10.3% year-on-year in July, from the 8.9% just a month earlier. Prime Minister Imran Khan's government, which last month agreed to a $6 billion bailout with the International Monetary Fund, has faced growing public anger at a relentless increase in prices since it came into power a year ago. Prices of food staples like wheat, meat, pulses, onions, sugar, beans, and potatoes saw double-digit increases, with overall food and non-alcoholic beverages prices increasing 7.9%. In addition, there were sharp increases in energy and fuel prices, with gas prices up 143% from the previous year and petrol prices up 23%. The squeeze in price has come on the back of a sliding rupee currency, which has lost almost a third of its value against the dollar over the last year, helping to drive up energy prices despite government controls. It is pertinent to mention that Pakistan's wholesale price index increased by 13.5% in July 2019, as compared to an increase of 12.7% a month earlier, whereas the sensitive price index SPI increased by a 12.2% during the period under review. This is your profit briefing. Thank you for joining us on the show today. For all the latest business, economic, and financial news, visit www.profit.com.pk. This is Eleazar Bhatti for The Profit here in Lahore.